So when I die, I want to be buried so that my body can be consumed by flora and fauna, just as I had consumed them, thereby returning the energy content of my body back into the ecosystem. Now, if you want instead to be cremated, something different happens to the energy content of your body. When you're cremated, these large molecules of your body break apart and release energy, heating the air in the chimney of the smokestack of the crematorium. That air gets heated and radiates infrared light into space forever at the speed of light. So in that way, all the energy that you once were is handed out to the greater universe rather than kept here on Earth.
Don't you understand that? Understand, folks, that as things are going now, you are being given decision-making time. You can waste your time with politics. You can waste your time with soap operas. You can waste your time worrying when they're coming from you, or you can begin to act ahead of time and bring in the very forces that can change all of this, give you the politicians you want, if you want politics, give you the body you want to stand against the radiation if you want it, give you the mental ability to fight some of the sublimination that they're constantly beaming at you, and they're bringing back, and you know this, all of the old magic once more. You see, magic is only misunderstood science. They're bringing back the very things that can help you to stand up against a tyrant. Not with machine guns. They make them better than you ever could and mask them better than you ever could. But there are things that can stop them from even trying to pull the machine gun. There are things that can stop them from even breathing to be able to think of making machine guns. But as long as you are amongst them and you don't know who you are, you give them power. They
that were here on Earth before 1958, before the governments took them out. And I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here's volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now, we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there. Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Take a really, really close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be features of the character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, let me show you with an image of what a flat Earth map would look like. Now, this is what latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat Earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which will be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into the center of the Earth, or up the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation, it's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet away. It's really, really simple, folks. Now, if you're not familiar with any of this at all, and you're just now new to all this, you can say, well, this guy is crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But what you got to ask yourself is, why do all the maps before 1958 show a flat Earth with the ice wall around it and a firmament, a dome? And why does the encyclopedia tell you that there's a dome there and it gives you the exact height at a certain latitude and longitude? Well, the reason is because in 1958, that's when all governments and all nations of the world signed the UN treaty to ban all civilians from going to the Antarctica, and NASA came in and erased everything, just like they're erasing everything today. So again, ask yourself, if all this existed before 1958, why doesn't it exist now? How come it all of a sudden was erased and just disappeared out of your history books, out of your encyclopedias, out of your libraries? Wake up, people. Wake up.
The stars, our only hope. Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be? Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be?
Okay, you guys remember how I showed you the maps?
Hi guys, I wanted to come on here because I came across this video on YouTube by prophetess Carrie Ann, and she's talking about how Vladimir Putin is going to give disclosure to the African Americans that is scattered abroad. If you've been following my page, you know here lately I have been pushing out a lot of content on who we are, what happened with us, and I'm accredited to do so. So I want you guys to watch this video. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to some of the things that she's saying, because she's very accurate. One thing I do know, that Putin has already done the video. We're just waiting for the video to be played. I want you to go and follow Gaddy Boy. I truly feel that God has been using him for a couple of years now to try to wake up the people. All of his work is dedicated to waking us up. And I feel like some people take what he's saying as lightly. He's been talking about the preachers and how they've sold us out. How a lot of these preachers have sold their souls for mega churches, basically. And it's all facts. I want you guys to go and check him out. He has put out some amazing content. One of the things that stood out is that he did put out is about their documents. And I've been following him for a very long time, and I've been parallel checking when it comes to scriptures and some of the things that I have experienced in this realm. Support him, because he's dead on. What he has been saying is happening. Is straight educating the people, letting us know who we are. Check this lady out and do as much as you can. Share the video as much as you can, because it's time. It's time. Some of the things is unfolding right before our very eyes. Everybody has to go back to their native country. So start paying attention. Things are not what you think they are.
The Lord showed me in the realm of the spirit where I saw Vladdy doing a worldwide broadcast. I mean, this went viral. I mean, the media couldn't stop it. And he was addressing the African Americans, is Vladdy. He was addressing the African Americans, and he was basically spilling the beans. Like, spilling the beans, yeah. And he was telling the African Americans about their history and who exactly they are. And the Lord says that he's got to deal with the African Americans because they have to wake up first. Because once they wake up and understand, you might tell some of us, yes, some of them know who they are. But the majority is fast asleep. They don't even care. But when Vladdy, the Lord is going to use him to do this thing. And when they're awake, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place. And the Lord showed me Vladdy just spilling the bean and telling them exactly who they are. That they are the people of the book. And that he's got evidence and he's got artifacts. That is what I saw in the spirit when Vlad was talking. That he's got artifacts as evidence to show that they do not belong to Babylon, US. They do not belong there. This obviously caused a lot of uproar with the Babylonian countries, like obviously Babylon, USA, Babylon, UK, Babylon, France, and all these other countries who were hiding the highest true people. And let me repeat that one more time. What I saw in the spirit, the African Americans, they have to realize and they have to wake up with the revelation concerning Vladdy addressing the African Americans. Now you might say, oh, Sister Karen, well, you know, it's not only the African Americans or of Yashahel. No, they're not. And we know that Yashahelites are scattered all over the world. But guess what? There's a reason why the Most High will have to wake up the African Americans first. They will have to be completely shaken from slumber. Because once they're awake, everybody else will fall into power. Everything else will fall into place all over the world concerning Yashahel. Spill the bean. I saw it in the spirit. He did not hold back. He didn't hold back, is Vladdy, when you were talking to the African Americans. He didn't hold back. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. When this bean is spilled by Vladdy, the leader of the Rush, the bear country, everything is changed. Because you're going to have dirty Babylons running around together. All these Babylonian countries who have hidden the truth about the true Yashahels All the true Yashahelites all over the world, all these countries like your Babylon Britain, your Babylon UK, your Babylon US, your Babylon France, your Babylon Spain, your Babylon Arab nation, and all these people who hide the truth and propaganda another nation and tell the whole world, there you are, 1948, those are, with all the segregation, with all the racism, with all the mistreatment, with all the wickedness that has happened to the 12 scattered tribe all over the world. Ahaya is going to rectify it, and he's going to make it right. Watch this. I will make them to come and worship at your feet, Yashahelites, the true Yashahelites. I will make the fake ones to come and worship at your feet. Not only they're going to worship at your feet, not only they're going to come and say, I'm sorry, I've treated you bad, we didn't know, we were lied to. But watch this. Ahaya hasn't done. He says, and to know that I have loved thee. So Ahaya is going to make it very, very plain to all these heathen nations that he has always loved. Let me repeat that. Ahaya is going to make it plain to all these heathen nations to let them know that he has always, not just some, always, forever and forever and forever, always loved Yashahel, the true Yashahelites, scattered all over the world. They are now, and you believe a lie, you ain't going nowhere. It ain't coming for you. Because it's coming back for a church with no spot. Slavery isn't the answer. It's wicked, it's horrible, it's dark, but it happens. You understand what I'm saying? But there's consequences for these things. This is going to happen when Vladi lifts the lid. Because he's going to blow the lid. And he ain't going to hold back. Listen, what I saw in the spirit, even the Babylonian, even wicked Babylon US was the main architect in the slave trade, and Babylon US and Babylon France and all these Babylonian countries, every single country that had a hand in the trade Atlantic slavery, they will come and they're going to tell you, yes, we got it wrong. They're going to repent. There you go. The Lord says, I will let them come and worship. They're going to tell you sorry. They're going to tell us sorry. And this is before we go into the wilderness, I believe. I believe this is going to happen before the second Exodus, before the second trip to yonder. I truly believe this is going to happen. So this is close. This prophecy is very, very close. Ahaya is going to do it.
Earlier this year, the Pope and the Catholic Church confessed that they have colonized the whole world with false doctrine. They have apologized, and our melanated people will still believe in the lie that was given to them. Africans didn't explain the true meaning of biblical scriptures. The Romans did, and they passed it out and taught everyone the false doctrine. This false doctrine includes the 2,000-year-old Christ and the BC AD dates that they put onto this prophecy. And now Black people are arguing over a doctrine that was never true. You guys must wake up and realize we have been deceived by our own prophecy.
In the illustration, you see African people who are the Moors in Europe ruling. They're in a castle and they're battling white Europeans. The Getty Museum out here in Los Angeles, there is a painting, an illustration from the 1400s, Moses defeating the Moors. And in the illustration, you see African people who are the Moors in Europe ruling. They're in a castle and they're battling white Europeans. And the reason why they named the painting Moses defeating the Moors is because the Europeans at the time, when they were going through the Inquisition, when they were going through the Reconquista, when they were getting the Africans called the Moors out of Europe, they had a religious undertone. And what they would do, they would draw stories from the Bible and tie that into their current struggle.
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial. It's even illegal in the state of Israel to obtain this. And if you do obtain it, it's illegal to show it and or talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that, right? Now, you might ask yourself, why is it illegal to obtain this in the state of Israel? Because it proves through your DNA that Jews around the world have no ancestral ties to the land of Israel. But according to Israeli law, the fact that I have Jewish blood gives me more right to somebody's home and land in the land of Palestine than somebody that has been there for hundreds of years. Doesn't make sense.
Hey y'all, come listen to this right quick with me. And y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments after the video over, okay? Hold on a second.
European power that did not take part in that process was the Russians. The Russians did not desire to take black people as slaves. And those of you who, you need to start studying a little bit about Russian history. Because you need to know that the Russians' #1 poet, the man they call the father of their literature, is a black man, Pushkin. And when you go to Russia, to this day, in their Orthodox Christian church, they worship a black Madonna and a black Christ. Because the Russians know something about black people. Now, I'm saying this to you because I know you've been sitting in front of your television screens and you've been lapping up all the propaganda, and now we're going to go and get the Russians, and the Russians are about to be defeated, and the Russians are going to be crushed by the Ukrainians, and it's Viva Ukraine. Oh, you are so foolish. You are such foolish people. You are such foolish people. Only major...
What y'all think about that? Y'all want to talk about Bye, y'all.
Is entities that do work against you, because there's entities that were created just from your thoughts that now exist based upon human thought. And without humans, they can't exist. So it's in their interest to force humanity to do human shit. Oh, so y'all ain't even in the war. Y'all think it's a white man. No, there are entities that help to bring forth white men so you can occupy your time arguing about them. Now, you're going to have to think a little bit higher. Push it up, son. There are entities that you have created called depression, clumsiness, jealousy, self-hate, low self-esteem that exist in the universe just like the made-up Jesus does exist. Because that's what thought forms are. Energy, thoughts and energy classified into a deity, deified. Your thoughts deified. Depression is deified. Shit, it has drugs, counseling. It has symptoms, behaviors. It has sacrifices. People have killed themselves because they're too depressed. Oh, it's an entity, my nigga. So it's in depression's because without a human body or humans, period, who would be depressed? Only those who are ignorant. We're talking about a world-class event where there is no more humanity. There is no more human thought. It's eradicated and done with. Depression doesn't exist. So depression has to fight for its existence, which means it has to be in favor of anything that keeps you human. Anything. Debating is an entity now. Debating has always been an entity called arguments. So that entity is getting this sacrifice right now because it's become a fad or it's become hot to argue or debate. I need to understand there's a bigger game happening here. A bigger game happening here. A bigger game happening here. It ain't about the dudes who are doing it. And this is by no means an attack on the dudes who are doing it. My attack has been, always will be, on human behavior. And you explain to me how arguing with each other is not human behavior. Somebody explain that shit to me.
What you're about to watch is a red pill, blue pill matrix moment. I want to thank Judah Awakens 28 for posting this video. at the end of this video shows the museum that put this video together. Pay attention to the dates. Remember, 1925 is before 1945, what they love to show us. These people, as you can clearly see, is not the typical argument of their olive color or their Middle Eastern looking. We see the people of Jerusalem in 1925. I encourage everybody to share this, download it, post it everywhere. The truth is coming out. Shalom.